welcome back to Royalty Soaps. Today I am going to be making sweet blueberry cream, which is one of my all-time favorites. I love this soap. And usually I put a green accent in it, but today I'm just going to do shades of blue with a white accent, and I'm going to put real blueberry seeds in there and a really awesome fragrance, so it's going to be a great soap. The recipe that I'm using today is the one that I used for the Heart's Desire soap. It is a palm-free recipe. I've just put the lye water in, and of course I have my safety goggles and gloves on. So I'm going to mix this up with the stick blender. Alright, so here it is all mixed up. I'm going to take my stick blender out. And now, into these 3 containers, I'm going to pour the accent colors. First, I'm going to put a little bit of water in here because this is ultramarine blue. And that water, you see, makes it dissolve really nicely so there's no clumps. And then I have Brilliant Blue Mica from Nurture, and that will just get mixed up on its own. Sometimes I mix things with oil, sometimes I don't. Just depends on how I'm feeling that day. And then in here, in this one, I'm going to put the white and the blueberry seeds. And I'm making much less of a mess than I did last time. And then the base soap is actually not going to be white. It's going to be sky blue from Nurture. So I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of that into the big base soap. And then I'm going to put half a teaspoon of blueberry seeds into this color right here, which is going to be the white. Just a little bit of white there. That should be plenty. I'm going to mix it up with the stick blender. There's the white mixed up, real pretty white. Now I'm going to mix up the big thing of blue. This is the next lightest shade of blue here. And funny thing is that this blue from Nurture sometimes turns an ashy green-gray color, but then it goes right back to blue later on. So if you see that happen in yours, don't get scared. It's perfectly normal. Now for the Brilliant Blue. Man, I love that blue. That is just such a fun color. And now for the ultramarine blue. Now I'm going to add the fragrance oil. Gonna get my spatula and scrapey. So now I'm going to set this to the side, and I'm going to get my molds out, and we're going to start pouring. I'm going to put a few little snaps on here first. Keep the sides up so that hopefully there will be less of a mess. I say hopefully because sometimes even with the sides of the silicone liner held back, I still mess it up and I still pour it right in between it. It's really terrible of me. So here goes the base blue. I still left some in there. The next blue I think I'm going to do is the Brilliant Blue. And I think I'm going to leave this just as a drop swirl. I don't think I'm going to put any hanger through it or anything. White is next. Now the ultramarine blue, which for whatever reason is thickening up more than all of the rest. Now of course once I get it all in here, you know I'm going to have to change my mind on the original design. I'm going to swirl it again. I'm just in a swirling mood, so here goes. Here goes nothing. I have no idea what this is going to look like, but hopefully it's fabulous. Alright, that done. I'm gonna scrape this off into the mold here and add the rest of that blue that's in the container over there. Woo, this fragrance makes me want to eat food. Oh my gosh, it's like fresh picked blueberries and maybe some muffins and some other things. It's like a mixture of like cream and vanilla and blueberries, but mainly blueberries, and the other things are just secondary. Yeah. So I'm totally piping this runnier because it is 6 o'clock at night and I have been up since 6 this morning, and I have been working since 9, and I'm just done. But I like the way that this kind of has a really pretty, like, rippledy look whenever the piping isn't thick enough using this particular tip, which of course is kind of strange, I'm sure, because I'm sure a lot of people would be very unhappy if their piping was not very defined like this is. But I don't know, there's something just kind of soothing about that rippledy look that I'm kind of obsessed with, actually. The little speckets in this soap is the little blueberry seeds that I put as little exfoliants in the white accent on the inside. I thought I would go ahead and just transfer that up to the top, make it really pretty. I have some really pretty glitters that are going to go on top of that. And I really need to wipe off the edges of this mold because it's hard to see where my 1-inch markings are. If you don't mark your molds, I highly suggest that you do, especially for big loaves like this. It just really makes your piping perfect if you have it marked on either side so that you can see where you're supposed to be going. Otherwise, you're just eyeballing it, and although I am such a fan of eyeballing nearly everything, that's one of those things, especially if you use an 18-bar cutter, where it's really, really good to get it precise. Otherwise, you'll be kicking yourself later. Alright, second round, filling in the gaps. Piping's getting a little bit thicker, but it's still pretty runny here. You know, the other day somebody commented on one of the videos and asked me if I had a disease. Because of the acne on my face, and then someone else responded to the comment and was like, yeah, I was wondering if the soap that she makes does this to her face, and I just laughed and laughed. So for those of y'all curious and don't know, I have something called acne, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the soap that I make. It is 100% hormonal. It gets worse and it gets better depending on what time of the month it is. I do not use my soaps on my face. These are not tailored for face recipes. These are just for regular hands and body washing. So yes, I don't use that on my face. I use Proactive, which I have found to be extremely helpful with my acne, but no, it's not necessarily a disease. No, you can't catch it from me. Just thought I'd, you know, kind of clear the air on that one in case anyone else was wondering but was too shy to ask. I'm just continuing to go all the way down the line here, filling it up with the piping. This looks a little different than I normally do it, and it's probably because the piping tip is so much smaller than what I usually use. I use this on the Chocolate Decadence, but I always do a snail trail on Chocolate Decadence, so it doesn't look exactly like this, but I kind of like it. It makes it look interesting, like it's a mountain or something. Man, you guys, it has been 76 degrees today. It's February! It's February! And it's 76 degrees here in Texas. Oh, it's fantastic. I wore shorts. It was delightful. Oh, how I love Texas winters. It'll just make a gal happy. So now I'm just filling in these gaps here. Every time I fill in the little holes like this, I feel like a pastry chef. Like when they take an eclair or something and then pump it with the frosting. That's what it feels like. It's the best. Boo, boo, boo. Last little bit here. By the way, speaking of eclairs and pastries, I made my very first cake from scratch the other day. I've made box cakes before, and I've made like box cakes on steroids where you like do special things to the cake mix, but I have never made it from scratch before. And I did it the other day and I filmed it. It's up on Wit and Whimsy on the other channel, so if you want to see me try to make a cake, I use my piping skills that I learned from soap on the cake, which only later did I realize how backwards that was. Like, oh, these skills I have for soap, I can use it for what they were actually intended for, decorating cake. Now I've put some glitter on, and I'm gonna put some more on, and then I put some of the blueberry seeds on top. It has all sorts of pretty stuff on top this time. And then I'm going to put some blueberry embeds on after I put this glitter on. I'm not going to film all of the putting on of the blueberry embeds because it would take absolutely forever, but suffice to say that I am putting 3 blueberries on every single soap. So you do the math. That's a lot of blueberries to add. And I will come back and show you what it looks like once I have added all the embeds and when we're going to get ready to spray the top. Okie dokie, so I have stuck all the blueberry embeds in, and now I am spritzing the tops of these soap logs with rubbing alcohol. I'm going to let these sit for 24 to 48 hours and then I will be back to cut them. And we are back 48 hours later. I decided to let this one sit a little longer than the other one. And it is just perfect, so I've already aligned this to make sure I'm cutting everything correctly and not cutting the blueberries, because that would be tragic. Cutting real slowly. Oh look, I have a little edge this time. My mother always likes to get these little end piece shavings. And so, let's pull one out from the middle here. Ooh, ah, this is what the soap looks like on the inside. The fragrance oil tends to make this one a little softer, so I'll probably let this cure a little longer. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, maybe even leave me a comment down below. And until next time, I hope you guys have a royal day, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.